Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Hey, Keith and Chemda, says Marsh.
One of those is me.
I'm 35, gay, sober, and I give a billion shits about this email.
Nice sober shits. Good on you.
I just got home and I couldn't wait to write this email. As promised on Twitter, I now have a keithandthegirl.com tattoo. And I mean, including the .com. Look at this. It's on his calf. And it's fantastic.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. keithandthegirl.com/tattoos. You'll be able to take a look at this. They write, I had been pondering getting a tattoo for a while now. It was on the back of my calf, so when I walk around in shorts, it's visible. Since I live just north of Atlanta, Georgia, I do end up wearing shorts most of the year.
Yay.
I'm behind on episodes, and I had decided on keithandthegirl.com as a tattoo before hearing the retelling of the story about a random guy getting the same thing and never hearing from him again. Yeah, this guy the other day sends an email going, hey, you said if we have a tattoo, we should show you. I got this 7 years ago. I didn't show you because I didn't think you'd care.
Yeah, but I think this person is referring to the person who met us that day and got keithandthegirl.com written on his shoulder. And then we never heard from him again.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
My first episode that I listened to was number 567. We're now at 3,520 for the record. Number 567 called Abuse, August 9th, 2007. The episode mainly featured Miss Teen South Carolina and her likes, such as the Iraq and Asian countries, and likes such as 1/3 of U.S. Americans unable to locate USA on a map. Since quarantine, I've been listening to the catalog in order. The only episode I have skipped is the first one. I recommend you. I want to redo the first podcast we ever did and sneak it in and just, they're like, whoa, these guys were professional right away. Hey, how's it going? Instead of what the fuck are we doing?
I cannot believe that this person respected your privacy and skipped the first one. I cannot believe it.
That's respecting privacy. And anything to do with McNally.
Wow, interesting. He's funny.
And Schmore and Schmenacy. I've learned valuable life lessons from the show, like what do we do now? REM songs could be sung by Muppets.
Can you please do your REM?
It comes when it comes. That's true art. You could choose to refuse to be made felt awkward by others, and a lot more. Keith and the Girl has been a huge part of my life and has helped me laugh through some of the hardest times in my life. I'm glad to hear I'm not the only one that the show helps get to sleep at night. I do have to say I've had some weird dreams that have been influenced by an episode. This tattoo is amazing. The artist's lines are so crisp that when he went to take a photo on his iPhone, the iPhone suggested a link to the website. That's better than a QR code.
He's a QR code.
Yeah. He said he would check out the podcast, so hopefully we have a new listener. Shout out to Oscar.
Oh, wow. What timing. Amazing.
Yes, we'll get to all that. Peace, love, and Keith and the Girl. Your newest walking billboard, Marsh.
Marsh, you are the greatest.com. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Let me mention Keith and the Girl Week tickets. Keith and the Girl Week. We're still doing it. They go on sale this Friday. You're a VIP member, you have a free ticket to all of the events until April 5th. So your free ticket is available now. You just got to claim it. You have until April 5th.
Available Friday.
Sorry?
Available Friday.
It's available Friday, right? And then you have until April 5th. Mark your calendars. Get your free tickets to all 5 events this Friday, April 1st. No joke. Get ticket and guest info at keithandthegirl.com/tickets. If you need more information, not a VIP member, for less than the price of one ticket, you get all tickets free this Friday. So sign up to VIP. You know that. Today's guest, fantastic. Host of the podcast, We're Having Gay Sex. The great Ashley Gavin. Hello, Ashley.
Hey guys, I'm just so blown away by everything I just heard. That's crazy. That's nuts. If someone got a tattoo of my podcast, I think I would cancel the podcast immediately.
That would be how people start. That would be how people start outing themselves. They write your podcast name on them. We're having gay sex. Oh, thank you. Okay.
That's the funny thing about the pod is sometimes people don't tell people what they're listening to. People will be cracking up. They'll be like, oh, what are you listening to? And they'll be like, Ashley Gavin's podcast. That's what people say sometimes. Yeah.
Whoa, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And do you feel a little bit of pressure to constantly have sex so that you can keep your title accurate?
Yeah, a little bit. Not as much as you'd think, but I definitely, sorry, my cat is walking around right now. I'm blocking the camera, but yeah, a little bit. I think it's more like, oh, I didn't have interesting sex this week. Like my sex was very vanilla and like very, like super loving or like kind of lazy.
I hear vanilla is coming back with sex. You're the expert. You tell us.
I hope so. It's a lot of work to not be vanilla.
It sounds like people find it refreshing. Like the days of choking and spitting might be over. Like almost there was a phase that everybody felt they had to do.
Yeah, because like I'm not like super. I like light rough. You know what I mean? Like spitting that's out of my wheelhouse. Spitting is definitely a line for me. If someone were like, "Oh, spit in my face," I'd be like, "I really respect you as a person, and I don't feel that I can do that to you." Like not to yuck anyone's yum, but of course, like even me thinking about like getting spit in my mouth enough to spit on you, I'm not a good spitter, so I feel like it wouldn't be sexy anyway. It would just be like, are you speaking Hebrew? What's happening? No, I'm trying to spit on you sexually. And I don't know. I don't think I'm comfortable with it. I'm not a great spitter either. I definitely was never one of those kids that was like, the kids that could, what was that movie?
The Hawkers.
Hockaloogie, yeah.
Yeah, they could go all the way down and stuff like that. I'm not that person. When I watched Titanic, I thought the most bullshit part was like how he taught her how to spit in 5 seconds. That's not, that's like, skill. Yeah, it's like learning how to blow a bubble with gum. Like that's difficult. You get several rounds. It's like how to ride a bicycle for the first time. It's not just one thing and then you're drowning and he dies.
Pemda watched it like it was a sex act. It's like if he told her how to take it in the ass. You just relax and I'm in. Pemda's like, that's not how it works. That would take more explanation. You're right. It took me longer to figure out how to blow a bubble with bubble gum.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Or whistle. Whistle is another like that was I was a late bloomer with whistling for sure. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why I'm not good at spitting. I still can't do it. And sometimes I wish that I can go whew. You know that one where I don't know. I feel like you're like a taxi cab whistle. Are you guys New York like native New Yorkers? I was raised here. Yeah. And Keith is acclimated. Yeah, I feel like that's a skill as a New Yorker that I wish I had. Like, now I do cab with a whistle. Thanks to the app, I now know how to hail a cab. It should whistle when you're like confirmed. It should do a taxi hail whistle.
Does that take out all the fun of it, of yelling cabbie? That used to be a good time, right? Now you just press a button.
I did once yell yo at the top of my lungs on a street corner trying to get a cab for like this. I was just in this weird situation and we really needed a cab, sort of like an emergency. Right. And that was a great New York moment for me, yelling yo and getting the cab. I was like, oh, this is
That's cool because my authentic trying to hail a cab is, please, I'm on the right corner. I'm turning this way. I walked a half a block so we can be the right, please.
Right. Yeah. You're on the right side of you're going with traffic. There's an art to hailing a cab.
Yeah.
And getting out of one. I'm like, hey, I'm in a hurry. Stop. And then they stop and you get in. You're like, oh, shit, this thing's all right. Goodbye. Not that much of a hurry. So it's a whole game. We have so much we have to get to today. You know that.
I apologize.
That. No. I wasn't complaining.
That was the small talk was not worth it. Let's get into whatever you've got.
I saw the drummer for the Foo Fighters, Taylor Hawkins, died, 50 years old.
Oh.
And I did some quick research, and apparently he died from Dave Grohl throwing a cymbal through his face, and then this is a movie. Okay, this is a movie. Never mind. All right, so they were in a horror film. I say drugs. It was drugs.
Oh boy.
Okay.
That's sad.
Boy.
Yeah, but he did. They just put out a horror movie called Studio 666 not too long ago. He was inducted in the last go around, I believe. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
So I guess he was celebrating.
Well, they found multiple drugs in his room, 10 different kind of substances.
Well, sometimes like the dealer doesn't have a lot of one of them.
Right. Right. Marijuana, antidepressants, opioids, heroin, I like how heroin's number 4 in this list. Okay.
I don't think I could name 10 drugs. Right? I'm such a fucking loser. I really think I'd be like Tide Pods. I'm running out of stuff.
He died
And
in
you're alive.
Colombia. Right.
That's true. I am alive, thankfully.
Let's say hallucinogenics, cocaine.
That's too many.
Open bottle of vodka. He's known.
It's not even. It doesn't even sound fun anymore. It sounds like they'd be fighting each other, like marijuana, cocaine, heroin. Which one do I do?
He had a history of known drug use. He overdosed on heroin in 2001. Spent a week in a coma, just 4 years after joining the band. Somebody from this hotel he was in Colombia called for help, but he was found dead as soon as they arrived. He was playing Lollapalooza, let's see, in Argentina, in Chile, and Brazil was about to happen. But
how old was he? I imagine
he was 50 years old. 50 years old. Obviously, you know, Dave Grohl knows about death. Terrible.
Awful.
Terrible.
Yeah. The grave that was over 25 years ago. Dave Grohl knowing that death. Are you talking about Kurt Cobain?
Yeah, but it's still pretty fucking specific. It's in your band.
Yeah. But that first one was supposed to be.
Sure, I'm sure he feels absolutely nothing. He had the dress rehearsal. We're here now.
Yeah, I don't think he goes. That was, first of all, that was 25 years ago. There's a relation there.
No, I'm sure it makes it worse. I'm sure
of course.
I'm sure it makes it like so much. You're like, again? That's horrible.
You do, and I'm not saying Dave Grohl has to, but I don't see how I wouldn't. Assuming the band continues, we have to have therapy every Friday.
I thought you were going to say,
I don't believe you when you say you're fine. I can't trust anybody now in my bands.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say weekly drug testing, which is
okay.
Kind of like I don't want to make fun of. This is awful.
Just let me remind everyone: you can't control it, you can't cure it, and you can't any of the C's. So, nice try.
But you got it. What do you do? That you just shrug and go, I can't control it?
Yeah. You want somebody bothering you with your addiction? Has it helped?
It is one of those things where you have to recognize that I'm actually sober because of drug use in my family. That's like, and alcoholism in my family. I've never done any drugs because of that. And yeah, it is like, it's a horrible disease because it's truly the person who is in that position has to be the one that decides when they're
if their bottom doesn't get them out of it, your fucking finger pointing isn't going to do it. Your drug tests aren't going to do it.
Well, that's just for my band personally, the drug testing.
Actually, it's not going to cut it. Okay.
Yeah, but it's awful. It's so awful. We're off to a really riveting start here. This is.
Ashley's going to tell us how it's going the whole way.
Yes. Do you think you offended anybody, Ashley?
Absolutely. I'm constantly worried about being canceled.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, speaking of which, are saying they're going to induct Dolly Parton. At least she's up for the running. She can be voted. Dolly Parton said, no, thanks. I'm not rock and roll. One day I want to make a rock and roll album, but I think it should have something to do with it. No, obviously we know it has nothing to do with rock and roll per se, but she says, no, thank you.
She's not just rock and roll. She's the ampersand also. Like, she is in all of music. And, you know, it's so amazing to be so huge and so well known and so good in your career that you're like, no, thanks.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame said, all of us in the music community have seen Dolly Parton's thoughtful note expressing her feelings that she has not earned the right to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In addition to her incredible talent as an artist, her humanity is another reason Dolly is a beloved icon by millions of fans around the world. So the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is saying, I don't care.
But what's
you're
funny,
a nominee, like it or not, whether you like it or not. Now poor Dolly Parton has to stress over votes. Right?
Well, what's funny is
you didn't make it this year. I didn't want to, but now it looks like I didn't make it.
They said she's an icon and like it's so well deserved. Like she's like 90 years old. She's now recognize she's an icon. Thank you.
She's going to get it, though. There's no way that...
Yeah.
She actually... I don't know if that's like an amazing play on her part, but she actually put them in a position where now they have to.
Right.
Because she's like, no. And they're like, well, we can't back out now. Like now we're doubling down. We have to induct you.
Right. It's like offering to pay for the bill and somebody goes, no, I'll get it. It's like, well, now when am I going to go? Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Sean Penn has said that if the president of Ukraine, Zelenskyy, if he is not featured in the Oscars that were last night, and he wasn't, spoiler, that people should boycott the Oscars for life, and that he, in fact, will melt the 2 Oscars he has because this organization is bullshit.
Nice Dolly Parton try. Go ahead and melt them. That's different.
You know what? You're not pick the year that you're nominated, though.
Right?
Sean Penn's not in it this year, of course. Oh, is it really? Because I was thinking I would go. Though.
Not only am I going to ruin your time, I'm gonna melt mine because they don't mean anything. So even as you go through this is stupid. Yeah, the Oscars had a great chance to stop the war by just mentioning Ukraine, but man, they keep fucking up. They just keep fucking up.
The arrogance of that is insane to me. Wait, can we get the video of him melting down the Oscars though? Because like I have one of those like oddly satisfying like kinks. Like I like to, like soap cutting or like you watch some like mix paint or something. Now I need to see the melted Oscars. Otherwise I'm going to have an itch in my brain for the rest of time.
I don't think he's ever going to do it.
He could pay for like a college degree by just the TikTok alone. How many views that'll get.
Yeah.
Right. He's calling on Hollywood to boycott the Academy Awards if Zelenskyy is denied a chance to speak at the event. Well, guess what? They're not just hard-ons at the Academy. They thought maybe it's a little out of line to have the president of Ukraine on a show that's so fucking frivolous, and self-indulgent, and as funny as it would be to see him do a video skit with Amy Schumer. We think it's best if we stay away from that altogether. We'll put up some hashtags before a commercial break. How about that? But yes, it would be weird him doing a little skit in fatigues. I'd find it strange too. Also,
he could get more views on just like what you were just saying, like Charli D'Amelio's TikTok. Like was anyone besides the slap, which I think literally saved the Oscars last night. Weirdly. Does anyone? Well, I forgot that it was even happening.
I learned about it by looking at my feed this morning. I was like,
me too.
The Oscars were yesterday. Keith forgot though. Keith.
Yeah, because I haven't been watching regular TV. I'm watching streaming more and more.
Now you're choosing shit.
I didn't get a warning. I feel
like. This is big, you guys.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone cares anymore.
It's under 10 million people that see it. Compare that, let's say, to the Super Bowl has 100 million people see it. So is it now football's responsibility if this war keeps going on? To whose responsibility?
If Zelenskyy isn't first round pick next year for QB of whoever, I don't fucking know. I don't watch whoever is going to have first round.
I believe that you knew everything just then. I was like, come on, really? A lot of sports.
Because my hat and my gay and my hat.
Zelenskyy should say, hey, here's now introducing the new outfits of the Redskins. And while I'm here, if you could donate batteries and food, we'd appreciate it. All right, enjoy the game.
The Washington football team is now the Ukrainian football team.
Yes. Just for a week.
It's blue and yellow now.
Yeah. I would encourage everyone, says Sean Penn, involved to know, though it may be their moment, and I understand that, to celebrate their films. It's so much more their moment to shine and to protest and to boycott the Academy Awards.
Oh my God, sit down. How bored are you? Did you not take up knitting or something during the pandemic? You got to have a hobby. In the last 2 years, if you didn't pick up a hobby, call betterhelp.com/KATG.
It's my understanding that a decision has been made not to do it, Penn ended up saying. If the Academy elected not to do it, then that decision will have been the most obscene moment in all of Hollywood history.
Honestly, this is
besides the slap.
Besides the slap, besides Weinstein, there were a couple other moments in Hollywood history.
Also, he hardly had a point, and he was very redundant in his message.
Yes.
Like, we should boycott, and another thing, we should cot boy, and one other thing, we should not watch, and another thing, Oscars are terrible. Great list.
Well, let's get to this slap, shall we? But first, I will mention this, as Kendo was just alluding to, BetterHelp. People need therapy. It's a tough time for everybody, apparently.
Oh, yeah, right.
Even Will Smith.
Yeah. Even Will Smith. We never thought we could say something like that. And if you don't know about the slap yet, of course, we're going to explain it. But just note that I even know about it. So, yeah. All right.
BetterHelp is online therapy. They offer video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist. You don't have to see anyone on camera, even if you don't want to. I do, though. You might as well. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try. Over 2 million people have. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Keith and the Girl listeners get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/KATG. That's BetterHelp.com/KATG. Camden and I both use it. We're big fans of it.
Are you going to be the only person that has lived through a pandemic still and didn't go to therapy? You think that's just okay? Oh, right. Yeah. The pandemic. I was totally fine. I mean, everyone lost their mind, but I was the best. No, you need help. I promise you.
Now, this is the 94th annual Academy Awards. 94 times they've been bringing us this magic. And, when they go through the years and they show the, different parts, it's Halle Berry or, the woman who said, you like me, you really like me. They always show the same 10 clips, right? Matt Damon and his buddy being, jerking off on each other. They're going to have to add the slap now because otherwise you seem silly. I mean, all of a sudden the greatest moment isn't Adele Dazeem. It's this slap heard around the world.
Oh my God.
Which, by the way, it's a
describe it when it's time? Can I please? Because I love it now. I couldn't even. Okay. Chris Rock was hosting. Yes.
Chris Rock was presenting.
Excuse me.
An award.
Please don't cancel me for the incorrect language that I used. Okay.
He kind of dismissed 3 women, but go ahead.
Okay. Well,
one of them was gay.
Oh no. This is like the only part I saw. So I saw Chris Rock was on the mic and he was telling a joke or two.
Yeah.
He turned to Jada Pinkett Smith and said, I see G.I. Jane, some kind of joke about G.I. Jane because she's bald right now.
Right.
They put the camera on Jada and Will Smith, and Will is laughing, and Jada's like, you motherfucker. Like, she's just not having it. Right. They turned back to Chris, and Will Smith is walking up to the podium. Chris has his hands behind his back, you might note, as a very relaxed, whatever's about to happen is cool. I think he thought, and I think we all agree, he thought, oh, he's going to steal the spotlight for a second to roast me or something. Oh shit. Will Smith gets to do whatever he wants. Yes, of course. Very chill.
I thought it'd be that fake fist, but still, you're walking a long way. How are you going to exit after all? But okay. You think you can do whatever you want. You're in the front row. It's obviously not planned. Whatever is going to happen isn't planned because the camera didn't have a good angle on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's true too. Yeah. And so he walks on and Chris is behind his back, but still open and invited. Will Smith, and I repeat, I am not mixing up actors. Will Smith, I am getting this very accurately, takes his hand, put it behind him as if and this all goes very quickly. He wound up and it looks like he fisted him in the face, but
it does look like a fist, but
it does.
But then you can see afterwards his hand is open.
Yes. And Chris Rock gets absolutely hit. You could hear it and you can hear Will Smith grunting. Will Smith walks back. Chris Rock hardly misses a beat. He actually, I am so impressed by this human being. I don't know that I've ever been
truly actually one of the most impressive things I've ever seen an entertainer do.
Bananas. The live show is interrupted to get slapped like a punch in the face. He, leans back because the slap pushes his face back and then comes back into the mic and goes, smoothly says, and I wish I had the quote in front of me, but
you think smoothly?
Oh, the smoothest. I would be shaking, and visibly and audibly you can hear it. This is a live show and I just got hit. First of all, I'm not used to getting hit in the face. And even if I was, it's probably been decades since we don't know what he's in the face, let alone. Yeah, that's true. Right. That's true.
Maybe he gets slapped in the face all the time.
He's like, could presenting be more vanilla?
That's true. So then he comes back to the mic and says something like, looks like we have the biggest thing that ever happened in TV history. I think
he said this is the greatest night in television history or most like
memorable or something like that. So smooth. He looks around to see if he should continue going because I think he looks like he's looking to a producer or something going like, I keep going, right? And just keeps going, kind of flubs a line completely respectably, and just keeps going. Oh, meanwhile, Will Smith, okay, while he's being caught, Will Smith suddenly got gangster. He's never been gangster. He's the most soft rapper ever. LL Cool J I would sooner believe LL Cool J did it. But
he has a clean album, 1999, 1998, clean album, just FYI.
Right. Welcome to Miami. He welcomes you in 2 different languages on that song. I mean, he and his whole family have we are the most Zen human beings in the whole fucking world podcast, YouTube, whatever. So he goes, take my wife's name out your fucking face. And I'm like, ooh, summertime. Okay. He's heated. And Chris Rock, again, this is the most super professional way to do it. He goes, yeah, I'm going to. I'm not going to. He clearly says, I'm not going to say it anymore. And he goes, again, take your fucking same line. Take my wife's name out of your fucking face, full on aggro. And then he goes, yep, I'm not going to do it, and continues the show. People, I am so annoyed by this because now comedians think they're that much greater and they feel like they've been punched in the face and they're probably saying things like, see how important and see how fucking people try to cancel us. They get physical with us. This didn't happen to you. Okay. There's one victim here. One victim. And that victim has been offered to press charges. He's not pressing charges. He had the option, I'm sure, to press charges. Charges against Will Smith, the fucking Academy, whatever NBC or whatever station. You can sue anybody. Now, here's what I see coming in the near future. A little anger management from behind the scenes. I think that just means like a meditation class and a podcast. And then Chris Rock and him sit down. Will apologizes to Chris. Chris turns it into an amazing thing. We're all paying for it on Netflix or pay-per-view or whatever the fuck they're getting us on at that point, and the world will be fine. But oh my God. First of all, black on black crime. Fuck. We just said, please hire some black people. Oh, that's not good. And of course, no one wants to say shit like that because that's not what actually happened. It's just this one person went bananas. And by the way, you laughed at that joke, so it's too late. You laughed. And where's the footage in between? Where's the footage?
I know. I want that moment. I want Jada leaning over being like, I actually felt that was in poor taste. That's what that's what I want to know what she said to him. Don't you fucking laugh at that joke, bro.
Right. In between, was she like, are you going to let him fucking talk like that to me? Or was she just upset and he got up? Did she reach out and go, where are you going? Whoo. I think I depicted this story accurately.
It was very accurate. I will say this is why trigger warnings are important. Okay.
Yeah.
Trigger warning, alopecia joke. I do think as a comedian, it was interesting to watch because I yell at my audiences for being overly woke and not laughing all the time. And I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. I feel like I'm just happy to not be getting punched in the face.
Well, I forgot she recently announced that she has alopecia.
Yes, that was the thing that I was like, I wonder, as a comedian, not a joke I would have done. Obviously, did not merit that response. I mean, that was like fully, we're talking about the most powerful, wealthy, privileged people on the planet. You know what I mean? You're like, it's like,
it doesn't mean that they're a punching bag, but you are in the space where.
No, but I feel like any celebrity walking into that space kind of knows that they're gonna get made fun of, and it's not exactly the same as roasting a random person for whatever reason. It is a little bit different. Still not a joke that I personally would have made if I had known she had alopecia.
For the record, and I'm making this up when I say for the record, I don't believe he knew that.
It's hard to believe that he, knowing him and his work, it's hard to believe that he would have knowingly made fun of an autoimmune disease.
It's hard for me to believe. So what? We make fun of my autoimmune disease, my tumor. Like there's not things that are off the menu. That's how you do it. It's how you do somewhere it. Autoimmune diseases will not be joked about. That's not a thing, because a lot of people have jokes about a lot of different kinds of autoimmune diseases. It has to do with your sense of humor.
And it's also important, I will say, like, talking about things that might be as like a queer person or just like a person who struggled with anxiety and depression and things like that. I think those things are important to joke about because, first of all, like, we're all human beings. We have a right to laugh at what we're going through and to bring relief to those
hierarchy.
Things.
Why is people's thing the higher level hierarchy? Why is your autoimmune disease not jokeable, but somebody else's, whatever disease, depression is, or gay, or whatever? That's not a thing. There's no list where we know what you can and can't say. You can joke about anything. It just has to be funny or you won't get a laugh.
Right, exactly. But the reaction was just like totally, no matter how offensive a joke is, the better way to handle it is like make a comment, to
punch it
joke.
Up for them. Whatever first started, he goes up, he slaps him. It's not until he says, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth." I thought he was just slapping him for being so hacky. Here's these 3 horrendous jokes that Chris Rock was saying.
Just wasn't good enough. Just wasn't.
Macbeth.
Denzel, you were in Macbeth.
Loved it. I love the part where it said, "King Lear don't got nothing on me."
And then it's that awkward laughter too. We're like, okay, then you know how comics do. That didn't really go over, but I'm telling you it should have. Okay, anyways, here's another one.
Y'all gotta see it. It's really good. You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. Is that because then you're a bitch to your wife? You're a
bitch to your husband. Yeah, that's what I think.
Oh, yeah,
I think it's like it's gonna be tough at home kind of thing.
Yeah, Keith, you're right. Okay, yeah.
Praying that Will Smith wins, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right.
Very timely joke based on Demi Moore having her head shaved in G.I. Jane in about 1997. Okay, all right. Now he's laughing, like we said, and she's not. Then they cut away, and then he starts walking on stage.
That was a nice one. Okay, I'm out here. Oh, Richard. Oh, wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
And Will Smith walks right back to his chair, almost like a proud moment, like, I did what a man has to do.
Yeah, and I don't know if people can hear it that clearly. He just goes, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
And people are laughing, like, how is this a skit? That's how dumb this world is. How the fuck would that be a skit?
It would be a really poorly written, like...
But if the rest of the jokes are poorly written, then maybe this is because also in your mind, you're like, well, there's no way Will Smith gets up and legitimately.
Right. It's so surreal. It's it's like totally surreal.
Yeah.
Big Mike's name out your fucking mouth.
Now, by the way, if you saw this in America, it was all bleeped out, or it was just silence. This audio is taken from an Australian take. But if you were in America, it was a good day for deaf people, because that movie Coda won so many things, children of deaf adults, and you could tell what Will is saying. But luckily, I got footage from Australia, so we can hear it.
Wow, dude. Yeah, it was a G.I. Jane joke. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay. So we are here to give a documentary out, to give an Oscar out for best documentary. Now, the beauty of documentaries, because they make you, when you watch one, you feel smart. Like you watched them, like you read a book or something. But all you really did was get high and watch Netflix.
Now he's a little flustered. The audience obviously is flustered.
Yeah.
No one's taken anything in.
So here we go.
That's it. And then he goes, you know what? Just go to the nominees. And then they cut to something pre-recorded where he goes through the list.
Yeah, he flubbed the line a couple times, but holy shit.
I mean, can you imagine your adrenaline is already off the charts just being on stage in this environment. And then you get hit like that. I mean, I imagine the amount of adrenaline in his body must have been just through the roof. It's hard to talk like in that kind of situation. So,
I might have thrown up because I think Chris is such a professional. He's been on stage so much that I don't know how many people could have handled it that well. And nobody kicked out Will Smith. Why is he not kicked out?
He was not only there all night. He won when you may have heard just now. Chris Rock goes, "Oh, Richard's coming on stage." He was King Richard, the Williams sister's father in a movie. He won. He ended up winning. Yeah. He goes up and he starts giving a speech, and he equates himself and the actions we just saw, without mentioning it specifically, to the great dad, King Richard. Here's this. Standing ovation,
Richard,
by the way.
Williams was a fierce defender of his family.
He's ready to cry. Now I'll play that again. He just I think it's kind of obvious. He's saying, just like the guy I played, I will defend my family. Oh, for what? Here, joke. First of all, we understand. I have to think that Will believes it's understood he may be less of a man, or he may be a cuck because of this weird relationship that he has with his wife. In fact, cuck was trending that night after the hit. So maybe he's like, oh, I'm gonna stand up to this fucking guy. I'm tired of he just snapped, and I happen to look like a fucking bitch right now, so I'm gonna stop it. It wasn't Jason Momoa that you were slapping around. It's Chris Rock, who I'm surprised he was still standing up. That was a big hit. But that's why you did it for Chris Rock, because you could probably take Chris Rock.
I don't even know if he was processing at that level. I mean, maybe it was like opportunistic, and I truly am so bad at pop culture. I am not following, like, I mean, there have been years and years and years of things about their relationship, and at this point, like, I just don't even follow it anymore. But like, if you like truly want to defend your family, you're thinking about the moments after this, right? Like, this is not good for your family to like.
Well, the son, Will Smith's son, wrote on Twitter, "That's how we take care of business." That's how we do it over here. Yeah.
You know what? All I knew was the slap. I did not know that not only did he stay, he won and got a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Holly weird indeed. You guys should light the place on fire. What the fuck attitude do you have? That's crazy. I just got assaulted and then you're doing a standing ovation?
Apparently something that I saw on the news was that the committee everyone who was sort of on the committee about what to do about him was like in different places all over the theater. So there was like no one person to make the call about whether or not to.
What do you do when somebody hits someone in your theater? There's no security. If it wasn't Will Smith, is there protocol for someone gets hit?
That's the thing. If this had been some other person, if this had just been a regular, if this had been me, they would have dragged me out of there. If I had hit,
well, are you having gay sex? Oh my god! Oh my god! You are controversial.
I'm spitting. I'm slapping. I'm having gay sex. But that's the thing. Like it just was this moment where it's like, did he just only get to stay in there because he's Will Smith? And
well, because they know that he's about to win something, so they don't want to have an empty stage because they don't know how to fill that space. But you guys are assholes and you just show exactly what we think Hollywood is you just protect the fucking bullies.
Right.
And bullies is a very kind name.
And it's hard to think. It's the stupid G.I. Jane joke that would set you off. So we know it's got to be something else, right? So I'm looking up.
Maybe the testosterone.
Maybe he fucked his wife. I don't know. So back in 2016, Jada Pinkett Smith said it was that, Oscars so white that there weren't black people. And she said, let's all boycott the Oscars. And again, I'd be like, I understand your plight, but it is my fucking year.
That was more legit. That was way more legit.
And he made a joke about it, Chris Rock at the time. And he said, that's like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I have to be invited. She wasn't up for an Oscar, so why is she saying that?
Okay, that's cute. Okay.
She also complained that same year that her husband wasn't nominated for the football movie Concussion. And Will Smith said, well, it's not fair that he got $20 million for Wild Wild West. How about that? So is all these jokes adding up? I'm trying to make it make sense.
I've heard the narrative. I've been, trying to pay attention to this from like every perspective, and I have heard the narrative that like Chris Rock has been mean in his humor towards these two before, but I'm also just like, I want to see the data. I want to see other celebrities that Chris Rock is roasting on Twitter or whatever. Like, this is what his whole thing is about, like class and race and social commentary. Like, these are two of the most out there celebrities. You know what I mean? Like, lots of comedians are making jokes about lots of different celebrities. So
this is like Oprah getting up and punching Chris Rock. I mean, and I would like to think that Oprah has a better sense of humor. And by the way, I have alopecia. It's okay to call someone G.I. Jane when like your head's, it's okay. You're in a space where like,
and not for nothing, G.I. Jane was hot.
She fucking Jada's the hottest. Right. Her whole family is just gorgeous. They know it.
That's how we do it over here.
I think what makes me frustrated is the comparison. Like whether or not you agree, you would make the joke. Like, I don't think that I would have the authority to make an alopecia joke. It's just not something that I would personally do. But there's just no comparison between physical violence and like a comedian trying to have a take on something that may or may not be offensive. Like, it's just not at all the same thing. And I think the fact that we're even having dialogue about why Will Smith did what he did is bizarre to me. It's bizarre.
Oh, no. There's no joke where you get to punch someone in the face. There actually isn't. Name a joke. What topic are you allowed to punch someone in the face? Because I don't think it's alopecia.
And even the most heinous, disgusting jokes, there's a better way to get your message across than violence. There's just like a better way. Yeah.
Walk out.
Yeah, walk out.
Now what are the Oscars going to do? Walk out because you're winning an award. You know it.
Right. And then, so Chris Rock does the best, and I'll go back to Will Smith's speech. Chris Rock gives the award for best documentary. I believe it was is it Questlove? I think his movie Summer of Soul. So him and his group start walking to the stage. Will Smith is in the very front because he's Will Smith. So Will Smith stands up and gives all those guys the handshake hug. Now, I don't know if it's congratulations. I don't know if
COVID.
it's him COVID or apologizing in a way. But you see this painful look on Chris Rock's face that I also felt. Like, it's like, now you're buddies with everybody. It would like, oh, now you're shaking everybody's hand and hugging. And then cut to later, he wins his award and everybody stands up. Are they tired of comedians making jokes about them, these celebrities? And they're like, all right, you represented everything. You represented Amy Schumer in the beginning. You represented, Wanda Sykes. Good. I like to see a comedian slapped. Is that what it is?
I don't know. You're being can I use bitch in this fucking area? You're being a bitch.
So here's him accepting his award when he got it for King Richard.
Richard Williams was a fierce defender of his family.
Now you can hear some oohs, I think. I hear you hear, yeah, but you also hear, ooh, oh.
In this time in my life, in this moment, I am overwhelmed by what God is calling on me to do and be in this world.
And I'll tell you what else is going on. Well, this is going on.
I didn't hear that part.
I'll go back a little bit. But while this is going on, Jada Pinkett Smith is making out with that woman from West Side Story. So it's
you're going to get slapped.
On me to do and be in this world. Making this film, I got to protect Ingenue Ellis, who was one of the strongest, most delicate people I've ever met.
Is this a Pulitzer Prize?
I got to protect Sanaya and Demi, the two actresses that played Venus and Serena.
Not Demi Moore, you asshole. That's Selena and Venus.
I'm being called on in my life.
Oh, boy. Oh, Lord.
To love people.
Holy shit.
Protect people.
Oh, my God.
And to be a river to my people.
Holy shit. Picture Zelenskyy did call in. He'd be able to relate, it sounds like.
Holy shit. You know what? I just want everybody to note that this is what God sounds like. Okay. This is what believing in God sounds like, where you can go, I was brought here to bring peace on earth after you just fucking slapped someone.
It's bizarre.
God is working through me to hit Chris Rock. It's all part of the plan. Listen, and if you cry, it's extra because that's really God. That's like all three gods, you know?
It makes me sad. Like, this just makes me sad. He obviously, something really horrible happened in his brain in that moment.
Well, also keep in mind that he had a book. Will Smith had a book come out not too long ago. It's called Will. Pretty clever. And in the book, he talks about being 9 years old and seeing his father punch his mother. Among other times, of course. And he says whenever he gets an award or gets any kind of fame or a movie takes off, that's his way of apologizing to his mom for not stepping up like a man. Is this him making up for it?
I've heard people talk about this and his psyche, and maybe this moment really triggered him, that he felt like he wasn't protecting his wife. I've heard that explanation. And all I can say is, like, I'm a person with some traumatic things in my life, and part of my responsibility is not punching people over it. Like that is a part of healing. Like, making sure that you are mentally well so that things like this, of course, what happened to him as a child is horrific.
Oh boy. Ashley,
terrible.
It's okay. They know.
But like, you know what I mean? Like, that is part of.
How do you mean though? Because maybe it's different over there.
Yes, but It's wrong. It's also wrong because
there's no excuse.
He's calling himself a man at 9. I didn't react like a man. And and if you were at betterhelp.com/KATG, you may learn that at 9 years old, you're not supposed to step up like a man.
Right.
The man who's hitting your mom is supposed to step up like a man.
And you take care of that guilt and that shame, and you address it in your life, and then you're not punching Chris Rock at the Oscar.
Yeah, that's not your dad.
It's not your dad. I feel really sad for him, honestly. It's like, to put that all in perspective and try and understand this weird moment, like, it's sad. Because it's unprocessed emotions.
Yeah, and I get it, but I think he needs to be sad for himself and like actually, and I think that's what you're saying also, but it's just like, let's be sad for Chris, who had to maintain his composure. I mean, it would be fine if he walked away crying.
Yes.
And he happened to not. I mean, that was if he would have closed fist. Will Smith has posted, I'm in the best shape of my life. Yeah.
He was Muhammad Ali. That sticks with you.
Maybe he's just doing method acting, and that's why he's being, whatever he played recently, like, I am, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, spoiler alert, that's just a movie you're talking about.
Right. By the way, going back real quick, Chris Rock would look like a bitch if he pressed charges, right? You can't do that.
I think it would be not good. Because it's just like, the whole thing is a mess. And he doesn't, I don't know what he would get out of it other than not fair, because if it was a woman and if it was a physical assault or a sexual assault on a woman, we wouldn't say, look, it wouldn't be good for your career and wouldn't be cool if it's gonna do more damage to you than it does. I get it. He has every right to do it. I get why he didn't. I get why he didn't, but I didn't mean it in terms of his career. I just meant for his own mental health, to like go through all the news stories about it and all that.
Yeah. Here's a little more.
Now, know to do what we do.
What do you do?
You got to be able to take abuse. You got to be able to have people talk crazy about you.
Can I have news? Can I have news for celebrities? People talk shit about non-celebrities also, but we don't get to cry into the fucking benefits. Okay. People are talking shit about us as much as you. They're putting it on social media. It's affecting our circle of friends. It's affecting our self-esteem if we let it. All the things that happen to you,
especially
because you
kids.
Memorize. Yeah.
Especially kids.
It's all happening. It's all happening. So the things that you do, it's enough. Everyone take yourself down a peg. Who are you?
Also, even if it is more something that, and I'm like not a famous person, but people have written mean things about me on the internet. And the way that I describe it to people is, this is what I want my job to be. And there are negative parts of every type of job that you do. My job is pretty 99% amazing. I fucking love it. But the ratio. And people write things about me on the internet.
Hundreds of people. No.
No. Yeah. But if you want to do this job,
but look at the ratio.
Even said it. You don't punch people about it.
Look at the ratio. You get negativity. How much positivity do you get on a daily basis? And how much positivity do you think an average person gets on a daily basis going into their office and coming back home? Not even from their spouse, their partner, or their children or anything like that. So we get all this praise and Will Smith gets more. And the ratio is the same of nonsense coming at you. So you're not dealing with anything really more than what we are.
Mark Wahlberg is saying, if I was there, it wouldn't have gone down like that. Mark,
you're kidding,
first
right?
9/11 and now, oh God. Oh, Mark.
He's trying to get an invite.
Abuse, you got to be able to have people talk crazy about you.
Like, we don't know. You're talking about what we just saw. You take abuse.
Abuse.
And it bothers me because, does this make sense? I always looked at Will Smith like he's half a comedian. If he did stand up, I think he'd be good at it.
Yeah,
that's why he
has a comedy background too. Like, I was thinking that earlier, that like he went from comedy acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even his rap was comedic. You know what I mean? There were punchlines in there for sure.
Right. His videos were comedic. Yeah, I actually had to think, wait, when was Will Smith a stand-up? Because they would be, around the same time. And I'm like, oh yeah, he was a rapper, but he did like Ashley was saying, he was in comedic shows.
Yep.
Yeah.
In this business, you got to be able to have people disrespecting you. And you got to smile and you got to pretend like that's okay.
No, you don't.
Seemed genuine laughter, but okay.
But that's not what he did. He did not smile and pretend that it was okay. He got up and smacked the dude in the fucking face. He didn't add that part in. He wasn't like, and then you got to get up and smack the shit out of him.
He's disgusted with himself that he fake laughed and clapped and ha. Yeah.
I wonder if it was a woman and she told that joke. What's in your arsenal then?
Suplex.
But Richard Williams, and what I loved, thank you, D.
Thank you, Denzel.
Denzel said to me a
for
few
yelling,
minutes ago, he said, at your highest moment, be careful. That's when the devil comes for you.
Oh my God.
Jesus, at your highest moment, and this is pretty much the highest moment, we all agree. That's when the devils come. Now, what does that mean? Nothing. You just, hopefully the audience will make up something in their heads and it'll fit. It could mean Chris Rock is the devil. It could be the devil made you punch somebody. Who knows? But no reason to explain that.
Devil made me do it.
Then they cut to Denzel. Denzel's just staring like, don't drag me into this.
Well, he was right. Denzel was right. This dude, he had like a breakdown. Like his past got in his head during this night.
Okay.
He's thinking.
It's like, I want to be a vessel.
The music should come in.
For love.
God.
I want to say thank you to Venus and Serena. I just spit. I hope they didn't see that on TV.
So he is into spitting.
I want to say thank you.
Doesn't want to see that on TV.
He's in the hitting and spitting.
Venus and Serena and the entire Williams family for entrusting me with your story.
Now, let me tell you what they did.
$30 million.
They put the Oscars logo on the thing. You don't see him spitting. So somehow, like, he's really losing it. And they're like, he's looking too ugly on TV.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm very serious. Yes.
Wow.
Like they didn't know where to cut to.
That's what I want to do. I want to be an ambassador of that kind of love and care and concern.
Just love too much. Me and Dracula.
What's Chris Rock? Like, he's back.
Chris Rock is watching this like, can someone get me ice?
Right.
I need an Advil, please.
Everybody's around the TVs, and he's like, "No,
he's got
right?"
A steak. He's got like a steak on his face.
Yeah, guys, we're not. You're just watching because it's happening, right?
He's like, "Can I be a vessel for love?" Like what?
How come he took it? Shit. Can I go ahead and present again? I want to say something.
Also, let's consider whatever trauma that Will Smith had. You think Chris Rock had some trauma too?
Of course, he's a comedian.
Yeah.
Right.
Chris was just fine his whole life.
I mean, the whole thing is just so hypocritical. It's so, and it also overshadows a really important moment and a really important film. If he had not slapped the shit out of Chris Rock, we could be focusing on some of like the really important societal level. So many amazing things, like the first queer woman of color. You know what I mean? Like, God,
so much is going on. All the jokes that Amy Schumer stole. There's things that we could be focusing on, and we can't get there right now. It just seems to be a history, doesn't there, Ashley?
Ironically,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? It could be any of us. Happens to be her with proof, right?
Ironically, this slap is going to be in documentaries, and it was introducing documentaries. You made it like right on the spot. Good job. Is that what Meta is?
Meta is, you know, the name of her podcast, Ashley?
Sorry,
Amy Schumer.
Oh, the three girls, one Keith, right?
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, here's a little more.
Oh, that's what you were referring to. That's a really funny interpretation of that whole Amy Schumer stealing jokes thing.
That's not what he was solely referring to. But
Ashley's having a heart attack. Let's just move on.
I'm not having a heart attack. I have thoughts on the Amy Schumer joke stuff. I just feel like it's so 10 years ago.
Right. I didn't forgive Robin Williams. Okay. So we're different people.
I want to apologize to the Academy. I want to apologize to all my fellow nominees.
He doesn't apologize to Chris Rock, by the way. It's like, and I want to apologize to all the love givers like me. And
this is a beautiful moment, and I'm not.
It's a teaching moment. I welcome the conversation, Will.
Yeah, Chris was trying to welcome just a monologue, but a conversation will do better than getting hit in the face.
I'm not crying for winning an award. It's not about winning an award for me.
He goes, I'm not a bitch.
I am way deeper than just being happy about this award that I came here to receive.
Right.
About being able to shine light on all of the people, Tim and Trevor and Zach and Sanaya and Demi and Ingenue and the entire cast and crew of King Richard and Venus and Serena, the entire Williams family.
You didn't really say nothing.
Right.
Art imitates life. I look like the crazy father, just like they said.
No, but you did it. But you did it. I look like the crazy father, like in that movie. With
also,
that
life
guy.
imitates art, I think was a
little dig. Yeah.
Like crazy father, just like they said about Richard Williams.
Oh, now you're laughing.
But love will make you do crazy things.
Yes.
Don't say shit like that.
You were so pure that you smacked him. And that again, that was a fucking smack. You ever see that Batman meme where he slaps Robin in the face? It's a cartoon, of course. That was the slap.
Mm-hmm. It was definitely like an action movie slap. Like that dude, he has done that before. Like he has wound that arm up.
He took boxing.
Yeah.
He took fucking boxing. I think Chris was very lucky that it wasn't closed fist because you tacked him out of nowhere and no hands up. No, like you really came at him.
Yeah.
Right. And now I see they cut to Jada for the first time. I want to see when he was yelling, "Keep my name out your mouth." Was she proud? Is she, I want to see her face there. I want to see reactions from everybody. Did you see it went viral? The reaction of who else was in the front row? Nicole Kidman. She's like half out her seat, like, oh my God. I want to see reactions from everybody.
That is a correct response. Yeah. I might get up, run around yelling, "Oh shit," before I sit back down in my chair. I see Will Smith getting up to hit Chris Rock and then yell. Yes, I might do a lap around the theater.
I'll put it on the website, but there's Nicole Kidman.
Yes, Nicole, you are very reasonably responsive. Okay.
Right. Let's see. A little more from this yapper. All right.
To my mother, a lot of this moment is really complicated for me, but to my mother, she didn't want to come out. She had her knitting friend. She has a knitting crew that she's in Philly.
So relatable. Oh, how quaint.
Watch it with.
The face slapping at the knitting crew. Unbelievable, by the way.
Being able to love and care for my mother, my family, my wife. I'm taking up too much time.
Yes.
Yeah. You're over 5 minutes.
Thank you for this honor.
Yeah.
Thank you for this moment. And thank you on behalf of Richard and Oracene, the entire Williams family. Thank you. Hope the Academy invites me back. Thank you.
Oh, they didn't kick you out. Chris Rock is back there going, "A moment like this. Some people wait a lifetime." What the fuck? You got slapped, and now they're like,
"Yo, Chris Rock is gonna have a great special, though."
Yeah.
You know what I think? If I was Will Smith, I do a surprise spot at the Comedy Cellar, and I do mean Will Smith.
Yes.
Hey guys.
Xerxes was saying that Saturday Night Live better have some sort of some kind of mention or joke or entire sketch about it. In fact, I think we talked about bringing in Chris Rock just for that one bit. And it's like Chris Rock tries to tell jokes and then people randomly come up and slap him.
Slap him.
Like, nope.
Hey, can I get a
You ever have gay sex?
And then the next person to come out was P. Diddy. And he said, you know what? After this, Will and Chris, I'll help you guys work this out. Because, the way family does. Anyway, let's move on with love. I've been in this kind of situation before where I was almost in a fist fight with somebody, and to make it and to try to calm it down is like, you both got a little too out of control. I'm like, no, now I'm really upset. But I know this third person just taking the easy way out. But I'm like, no, there's a real problem now.
In fact, you mentioned that when you were younger and a bully was bullying you, the teacher was like, stop it, the two of you.
Yeah, you two knock it off. I'm like, this guy's knocking off my head, but okay, I'll try to stop having fun. We're all having a good time. Let's see. What's that noise, by the way? Is that a dildo? Or
I'm so cat? Sorry. It is a dildo. I can't turn it off. It just goes when it wants to. Sometimes I'm on stage roasting people, and the dildo, it just randomly turns on and slaps me in the face.
You happy?
It's. I'm so sorry, guys. It's just construction outside. I have no idea. I was hoping the mic wasn't picking it up.
I didn't hear it, but Keith's got that hearing. I'm sure somebody else heard it if he heard it. But
if I was somebody going on stage, I think when I pass Will Smith in the front, I would be like, I'd have to. How you could act like this didn't happen and you pass them is insane. And these are the same people and I understand, like we're saying, everything's fake. These are the people that give a standing ovation to Mel Gibson. Like we all didn't hear those tapes. It is wholly weird. I'm just right.
I think the joke to do would have been like, I had some jokes about Will Smith, but
right.
That would have been. I couldn't have resisted.
Right.
Yeah, and I wonder, like Ashley, I don't think you'd get slapped in the face, but I wonder if Keith, you did your bit, if he might go for a second one. I am a vessel of peace.
Right.
Jesus Christ told me to do this. Bonk.
It is exciting though. Celebrities slapping celebrities. I got to tell you, what would you rather see? Kevin Costner droning on about the first Western he ever saw? Who gives a shit?
I think it's interesting that people. I've been hearing people say like, "Oh, I think of Will Smith and as this like very friendly. The impression is that he's almost perfect in some way. And I don't know. I've always been worried about Will Smith's mental health, not for any particular reason, but there's just always some crazy rumors about his family. You know what I mean? So I've always been a little worried for him.
I think that was later in his career, and he seemed to have a really good head on his shoulders, and not kind of let that celebrity get away from him. But I think in the last, I don't know, maybe decade or two. Sorry, Ashley has to finish. Ashley, finish?
No. Sorry. It definitely looked like I was going to slap you across the face in that moment. The construction got worse. That's what I thought. You must have heard it at that point. It got even louder.
I did.
It was a little too much though when they added Chris Rock in the in memoriam. I thought that was a little too much.
That would have been great.
They did have, no joke, they had the that cinematographer that Alec Baldwin shot. She was in memoriam. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. Well, that's a bummer.
Oh, that's right. Yes, the in memoriam will always be a bummer.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess she made the deadline, so here she is. But
man,
shit.
Yeah, and meanwhile, like that could trigger people. Nobody else slapped anybody. Interesting.
Right. And they do these things.
Did anyone slap Alec Baldwin at the time?
I don't know. They do these things for, it seems completely random, but they'd have White Man Can't Jump. They'd go, it's the whatever anniversary, let's say 30 years. Here's the main three characters from White Man Can't Jump. And they do some stupid little banter. It's a reunion of the Godfather. They had Francis Ford Coppola, Pacino, De Niro. They come out, they're half dead. So who gives a shit? James Bond, they go through all the James Bond movies saying it's been 60 years. But I guess all the James Bonds were drunk in the back because no one came out. And it's like, well, who cares? Why you just show me old shit? Who gives a shit? These things are 3.5 fucking hours. I just see the rest of it online because my DVR wasn't recorded. Who cares? Oh, fuck. Here's another old movie. Who cares? We have movies now. That's what this is about.
Oh my God. Speaking of, I just saw Boys in the Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Folks.
When you like a reunion of that?
Wow.
Folks, wake up. There's this movie called Boys in the Hood, and you will like it. Okay, so maybe, Khanda, you would like these people coming out. You're like, oh, it's a new movie about a 65-year-old basketball player playing playing in black parks.
But wow, I mean, prepare to cry. Wow. Well,
1991, and I'm glad you caught up.
I feel like I think I kept thinking I did see the movie, but I think I only saw the video for the music.
The trailer, you mean?
No, I think there was like a lot of rap songs in it. So I think I just saw pieces of the movie.
So you like it. I can tell. I can see that scene.
This looks familiar.
Where he's breaking down in front of his girlfriend. I can picture what would happen before and after that. Best picture was the movie Coda. That's on Apple TV. First of those streaming things to win best movie.
And what does Coda stand for again?
Children of Deaf Adults.
Oh, that's funny because Coda also stands for Children of Codependence. It's what Codependence Anonymous uses.
Best Actress, Jessica Chastain, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Best Actor, Will Smith for King Richard. Best Supporting Actress, Ariana DeBose for West Side Story. Best Supporting Actor, this guy Troy Kotzer for Coda. Best Director, Jane Campion, The Power of the Dog. This piece of shit. Holy cow! Anybody see this?
I didn't see any of these movies, so I'm like totally.
Oh my God!
Have you seen Boys in the Hood?
No.
Okay,
and now I'm gonna.
You have to. Yep.
And Best Adapted Screenplay also went to Coda. So yeah,
see,
I'll
Keith,
have to check it out.
We remind people of movies. It's not the worst part of the Oscars. It's not that segment's fault that it's 3.5 hours. It's Will Smith talking for 5 minutes through his stupid ass fake tears.
Right. Should Chris Rock have come out and tackled him while he was doing his speech? Should he pull a Kanye West and say, I'm sorry, but whoever the fuck was the best actor this year?
He runs out and goes, peace. And then just leaves. Just talking about how you have a higher purpose.
Run out, grab his Oscar. I wonder, man. I wonder if I would do something when you're crying at minute 4 and I'm like, I think you're somehow getting the audience on your side. Run out, grab the Oscar.
Say, this wasn't important to you anyway. Right. I'm going to go give it to Sean Penn for his melting party.
For his melting.
Oh, well. Did they fuck that night? Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith?
No, she went to her other lover's place, but, he watched.
Right. For her being bald, she obviously has a beard, right?
Oh,
hey,
boy. Oh, boy. Ashley, feel free to slap Keith.
I feel that way all the time, but I never do it. I feel for Jada in this moment too, because we don't know how she was feeling in that moment. Obviously this is not her fault. And I wonder if the whole time, I wonder how she felt about it. This could be so embarrassing. So embarrassing.
They went to a party afterwards. They're laughing it up, shaking hands and everything.
Yes,
that
there's
wasn't
all
the
that
end of
footage.
the night.
Yeah.
What the hell? He had a stupendous night. Is Chris just like going home and crying?
Yeah, poor Chris.
Right? Now you can't hang out at the party. The guy who assaulted you is there. Right. And everyone's standing up for him. That's so bizarre to not even care that there was just a crime happening in front of people. That's a crime, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's live. And it's like, anyway, these award ceremonies, they're so what?
Well, no joke. They weren't making a joke about this, but I don't know, LA cop Twitter. It's like, we're looking into it. We don't have all the information yet. It's like, we'll gather around a TV. Is this what happened when we defunded the police? They can't have TVs now.
It's bizarre that also the misuse of art as an excuse for what happened. I'm like this character and that I have trauma and feel for me. This is where this came from. And it's like other people don't get to use that as an excuse for violence. It's just so wild.
Right. Well, there you go. And that is the Oscars, the most wonderful time of the year. Boy, the Grammys are going to suck, aren't they?
The Grammys have to work in 2 slaps to keep up with the Oscars.
And a spit.
Everyone's like, how can we get a slap in here?
Oh, my goodness. You know, it would be funny if the Grammys started with like a 15-minute boxing class for the audience.
Right. All right, let's go over what we learned today. Okay, I got this letter from a new tattoo. And I do think it's very funny that you can throw your phone on that and it leads right to KATG.com. Wow. I enjoyed hearing that. We talked about the drummer for Foo Fighters, Taylor Hawkins. He passed away. I've heard him in a couple interviews. I don't know. I liked him. You know, I just liked them.
Foo Fighters are cool.
Yeah, they're cool. It's very sad.
Yeah. If you haven't heard Foo Fighters music, it's fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Dolly Parton will be a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, whether she likes it or not. So congrats to her and her family. Sean Penn says he'll be melting his Oscars on TikTok at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm excited about that. Let's see. It's Hollywood, baby, and you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, apparently. And it's weird that online I do see people being just saying the opposite of what we are and being against Chris Rock somehow. And you got to stand up for your family. I'm like, you were that easily tricked?
And I almost think like Chris Rock should press charges on him because I don't think people understand. They just saw a crime and now he's just going like, I'm going to be the cool one and still getting shit. That's crazy.
Maybe the good news is comedians will now have security in clubs. Maybe that's the good news. You saw what
security did.
It's so also security in clubs. This is near and dear to my heart. Often don't do anything when people are coming at us. I've seen some really wild. I mean, nothing as wild as a slap, but they really.
What have you seen? Like, because my friend, nobody came to this guy's help either.
Yeah, my friend did a club that was sort of like, you know, maybe a little more not LGBTQ friendly. He gets like he's gay, and these guys like started screaming at him slurs and things like that, standing up, threatening violence, and the security just did nothing.
Yeah, they should be kicked out. Absolutely. They should be kicked out. Why do you get to do that?
Clubs want the money. They want the money. They want the drink money. Not all clubs, obviously, but a lot of them.
Well, they have to debate. Like they see they see Will Smith walking up to Chris Rock. And then they're like, is this a skit we don't know about? Why don't these people run everything by us? You know, because the picture security just started tackling them like, sir, you're not.
You have a different lawsuit now on your hands.
Yeah.
Right. And they don't want to get rid of them. I guess, you know, that's when even leave anyway. I think I would leave. I think I would. I know the camera's going to keep cutting to me I'm not even in a regular chair. I'm so far in the front row. I'm in one of those sofa chairs. Me and my wife are in, you know, separate, huge fucking king and queen chairs. I wouldn't even, I don't know. Maybe they also don't want the camera to cut there and there's just an empty chair. They don't know how to get rid of the chair in time.
I'm not saying security should have caught it before the slap. I understand the timing. It can't happen that way. You don't think Will is going to hit Chris. Okay. Now we're calling them on first name basis because once you slap someone on TV. Okay. But I do think that no one was alerted and no security like even popped their head out, it seemed. And nobody said you need to leave now. Also, minimum you need to leave.
Very surprising. No one, I mean, I guess let Chris do his job that he came to do, but also surprising no one came up to Chris being like, you okay, bud?
Right.
Everything all right? You get slapped like that, you might fall down, you might faint. Like you have no idea. He could have hit his head on the way down, not even from, you know, the actual hit. So
right. And even the things that we're making up that didn't happen, you just got hit on live TV. Do you get to go home? Do you get your money? Like we talked about how a guest of ours was 17 and at 2 a.m. as she was working at the 7-Eleven got robbed. She was the only person there. And she had to finish her shift. I don't think you should have to finish your shift when somebody hits you. Right. Never mind that it's on live TV. But yeah, I think you get to go home with pay and severance.
Or Oh, no, because he brought up keep your wife out of your mouth. I really, at first I'm like, oh, he's hitting him because he's so hacky. And really, Chris Rock could do better than that. But you're right. Once he says about the fucking out of your mouth part, then you're absolutely right. Ashley, here's what people want to do. I'll tell you right now. They want to download the podcast. We're fucking over here, all gay.
Yep.
And you're going to love
That's the name of it.
It's called We're Having Gay Sex.
Nah, that's We're Fucking Over Here All Gay.
And I think you'll dig it because you don't mind. You don't mind getting personal.
Very personal, yes.
Yeah, I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay.
All the slapping on my podcast is consensual, and we're proud of it.
Anything else that people should know, Ashley? I'll give some people some tour dates. I know that
would be great. Yeah, I have a lot of tour dates. Big old rooms. So please come.
In Sacramento. That's April 21st to the 23rd. I'm trying to talk here.
I'm so sorry. Slap me.
I want people to get to here. Nashville. What state's that in, Ashley?
Tennessee.
That's on the 28th of April. And Atlanta, the 29th and the 30th of April.
Yes.
And you can also go to ashleygavin.com, see what's doing there. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've got a bunch of other ones. Denver, San Francisco. There's a lot. So please help.
Excellent. And what's the thing you're doing that you'll go out on a date with a random listener? You're having a drawing. Oh yeah,
you sign up.
Huh?
If you sign up for my text list for my alerts from my tours, I will fly to your city and get dinner with you. Legally, it's not a date. I have to say that.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Who pays for this non-date?
Me. I pay for everything. So,
Wow.
And it's legally not a date.
It's legally not a date, but could there be sex after dinner? Is there a chance?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay, I don't know. Well, then it's not a date for sure, you know.
Yeah.
Could the person be male?
Yes, can be anybody.
Okay. All right.
Interesting.
No discrimination. Could be Will Smith.
What?
You have to do it. If he's picked randomly,
If he's picked I have to go on a date with him. Jada, please don't slap me. I don't know.
Ashley, great seeing you again. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thanks for having me. You guys are the best.
Aw,